Step one for getting mentally prepared for your wrestling matches should start with this. You can even take a pen and a piece of paper. You should sort of evaluate, kind of game plan a little bit, because generally what we do is we sort of ignore the things that are causing us concern, because we say those are negative thoughts, and we try to ignore negative thoughts. And over the course of the 1, 2, 3 hours, or sometimes even days leading up to the big match, you know your mind's just going and going and going, and then you start to wear down mentally, and emotionally. And then right before the big match, you slap yourself in the face, you listen to some hype up music, and you get really angry and mad and psyched up, and then you go out there on the wrestling mat and you compete. Just think if you said, this is an example. I get my wrestlers and they say, I got a big match, I'm nervous, I don't know, and they're kind of like talking in circles. I go, okay, so what do we know? Have you wrestled this person before? And they'll usually say yes, or they might say, no, but I know who he or she is. I beat so-and-so by 3 points. This person beat so-and-so by 1 point or by 5 points or whatever. And they give me some intel, right? And I say, okay, so are you okay with having a close match? You're probably going to have a close match here today. It's probably not going to be a blowout. Are you okay? Do you agree? And they go, yeah, I'm not going to pin this guy. All right. So yeah, you know what? Maybe in 6 months you will. But right now, we're probably going to have a close match on our hands. Maybe not. You might blow the match open. But generally speaking, are you okay with having a tough, hard-fought match here later tonight? And they say, yes. And you would be amazed at how they calm down. It's like the anxiety, the pressure valve is released. Okay, now what are you concerned about this match? Well, last time, I got to my feet and I couldn't get away. Okay, so I'll write that down. We'll drill a few things from there. How were you getting to your feet? How come you weren't getting away? What were they doing? All right, were they mat returning you, running you out of bounds, or whatever. You get the idea. And so you're kind of counseling, and you can do this as an athlete too. Counsel yourself. And you'd be amazed. You say, well, this opponent is, they're very powerful, and, when I get close, they just charge me and collar tie and underhook me. Okay, so now we write that down. And what you can do is you can go into the wrestling room or in the hallway or something, maybe, or obviously before the match, if you have a couple of days to prepare, you can sort of start to prep for this, how to head block and, pinch off an underhook or whatever. Maybe they'll work their left-handed fireman's carry a little bit. You get the idea. This is sort of step one to mentally preparing for your match. Is you're taking a sort of scientific approach instead of just getting really, really angry and psyched up, or telling yourself all day long that you're gonna win, when really deep down inside you don't really have a game plan. Maybe you deep down inside don't think you can win, but after going through some of these things that I just discussed, now you're like, hey man, I think I can win this match. And what if it's a rust? This is the hard part: how to mentally prepare for a match against someone who you probably can't beat yet. If someone beat me by 12 points 3 weekends in a row, I might say, well, today I'm going to have a 5-point match. I'm going to count that as a win. I'm pretty certain it's going to be difficult for me to win this match. So I want to have a 5-point match. How can I do that? Well, if I don't give up my arms on bottom, I won't get turned for 9 points. Well, we're back in the match right there, just by not giving up your wrist. So going into those matches, your goal is to go into the match and what we call close the gap. We're not even trying to win yet. We're just trying to close the gap. I need to get murals for my gym. And one mural I want is Mount Everest, because Mount Everest is cool because, it's obviously the tallest mountain in the world. But there's levels. They close the gap on the stop. They close the gap. They close the gap. They close the gap. They sit down and they map out a route to the top, and they say, okay, I got to get to the orange flags by sundown. Okay, well, there's bad weather. We're not going to get there. They might sleep in a tent for 2 days. Weather breaks. They have a game plan. Then they get to the orange flag. They set up a tent, right? And they rest and they recoup and they get ready for the next the next journey. And wrestling can be much the same way. And so sometimes it is okay to go into a match and say, or a tournament and season and say, my goal this year is just to qualify for state. I think I can place if I can win one or two really tough, hard-fought, close matches. I'll be okay. I'll be happy if I just qualify. And icing on the cake, which I think I can get, is getting a medal at the state tournament this year. Not bad. I'm only a sophomore. I'll worry about next year, right? Some people say never go into a tournament unless you think you can win it. Well, that's not really true, because sometimes I'm not ready. It's like weightlifting. I'm not ready to bench press 300 pounds. But I can bench press 220 and I can qualify for state. And by the time the state tournament comes, my goal may be to bench 226. And now I'm like, okay, so I have a personal best record. I qualified for state. I'm happy, and I made progress towards reaching the top, which is by the time I am a senior, I want to be able to bench press 300 pounds and win a state title or whatever. Wrestling's much like any other sport, but sometimes we don't take kind of an organized approach. We just take the get mad, Tommy tough guy, go get 'em approach, and that doesn't really work. So there's some tips on mentally preparing for your matches. You can check us out if you're interested, purlerwrestling.com. We have about 1,000 videos like this on our YouTube channel. Our Instagram page has hundreds as well. And you can follow us on social media. We get 800,000 views last month. So our social media outreach is massive. It's at Purler Wrestling. Everywhere you want to go, we're there. Come train with us. Love to have you. Good luck.